Today, he and the First Lady will tour the disaster area and meet with first responders and local officials. White House correspondent Karen Travers joins me now for more on that. So, Karen, what stands out to you here from what we just heard from the president and the agenda today?
Yeah, Diane, he was talking about what he intends to do down there in Texas. He is going to be down there at a state emergency operations center, getting a briefing from state and local officials, hearing from them about how things have been going, what else they might need from the federal government. He's also going to likely meet with some of the families of the victims. Not clear if we're actually going to see some of that, but reporters will have a chance to likely ask him questions when he is there with state and local officials. He'll be traveling with the Texas senators, Ted Cruz and John Cornyn, and he'll be linking up on the ground, of course, with Governor Abbott once he gets there.
So where do things stand between the U.S. and Canada on these tariffs?
You know, reporters tried to ask him there for what exemptions there might be for some of the tariffs that the president announced last night on Canada. 35% that he says would go into effect on August 1st. And, you know, this is really ramping up this trade war with our neighbors to the north. Canada is pushing back, saying that they have taken action on the issue that the president says he wants to address. Fentanyl coming across the border between the U.S. and Canada. Diane, last year, just 1% of the fentanyl that was seized by U.S. officials was coming in from Canada. So Canada says this is not that big of an issue, but they're working on it. Still, the president says they should be doing a better job on this. There are still negotiations happening, and the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says they're going to continue those conversations. August 1st is still a couple weeks away, and they're looking to see what conversations could lead to in terms of trade deals, or at least a trade off-ramp from this current state. Now, it's important to also note there are tariffs still in effect, of course, on Canadian goods. 25% on goods that are not covered by the U.S. Mexico-Canada Free Trade Agreement, and of course, that very stiff 50% tariff on steel and aluminum. That is something that has been very frustrating to Canadian officials.
The president is sending letters to several other countries threatening to raise their tax rates unless they make a deal. What are you watching for there?
You know, this is all supposed to go into effect on August 1st. This was the president extending that deadline from July 9th to August 1st to allow for negotiations to continue. But Diane, the president continues to say that for him, the time for negotiations has passed, that the negotiations have been too time consuming. They're trying to do it with too many countries. And so for him, these letters he is sending out to dozens of countries around the world indicating what that new tariff rate would be on August 1st, that is it. That is a trade deal. Now, it's a one-way street. These countries haven't agreed to that in terms of an actual deal. But for the president, this is his effort to try to reach that 90 deals in 90 days. The administration says, though, there are still potential room for negotiations over the next couple of weeks. But if deals are not announced, then those new tariffs will go into effect on August 1st. But the key thing that we're looking for is there another extension? Because we've seen it once, and we might see it again on August 1st.
The AP is reporting the State Department is laying off 1,300 employees today, and that's part of these changes announced by the administration. What's their goal here?
The administration has been looking to reduce the workforce at the State Department to get it in line with the president's America First policies. Senior officials there said that this is all part of the most complicated reorganization in federal government history. And one official said that this is largely to eliminate what they called Cold War era redundancies at the department. They told Congress months ago that they were trying to get down 15% of the department's workforce, and they anticipated that some of those numbers, about half of them, would actually be through people taking buyouts offered earlier this year by the Trump administration. Notably, this is all about the domestic workforce. This isn't impacting people overseas. Still a lot of questions about what the State Department is going to look like and how they can carry out some of this very critical diplomatic work with such a large number of people not there working in the department anymore.
All right, Karen Travers at the White House, thank you.